looking good. Maybe all the way up front. Has a chance to come around the play or at least cut off the respawners. He's going to find the first.
Yeah. Opportunity for the first tick of progress. Pappy down low. Oh my, Slim. Careful. That's not a gunfight you should lose against a Vaznev, but nearly did. Red Chase, Semtex, well placed. Flushes the Tigers out of that quick tools area. Pappy, though, in the dead silence, is looking to just follow up and re-hit top patio, and this is going to work out great. Good trigger discipline here. First one's free. Second one, though, down low has kind of gotten away from him, but it doesn't make much of a difference. Ronan gets one elimination, but Pixels standing in their way will take down two. One more over the top of the boxes, and Pixels may have needed to play his life a little bit longer than that, because now UTC are still staggering, trying to get off of spawn as the first tick gets locked in.
First tick is in, and well, it's going to be a full-on brawl. Everybody coming back off of spawn, and the kills are clean right now for LSU. 2 of the 4 are down. The response is there, and Red Chase, how does he find 2? And what? Through the tarp with the prediction? Red Chase clears off the point by himself. Stops the second tick, and now there's only 15 seconds left.
Unreal saves from UTC, man. Unreal saves. This one just cut short of when the second tick of progress was nearly locked in. And they flipped the life lead into their favor with more kills coming in around the zone. Zub, Slim, teeing off. Everybody from UTC collecting kills here at the end. Wow. Unbelievable stuff defensively again from UTC. It just comes at the sacrifice of the A zone and 1 tick at B. Boy, once more is LSU really close to finishing off until it was this play from Red Chase. Holy.
Wow. Man. That's just a crazy prediction, or probably just a lot of LSU low control throughout this year to know where you can wallbang specific spots like that and finish off kills that easily. What another big moment here out of Red Chase to save it. They also stopped the second tick, I believe, there too. So just insane stuff coming on through for UTC. But we need to see a cleaner offense, and I want to see them commit together and use numbers on the point and not just come in staggered.
Yeah, that's a good shout. See you first blood. UTC still looking for some map control here, and while there's not getting any gunfights, although Pixels has snuck through this LSU defense. And unless LSU are trying to count numbers here, they may not expect this, but no. Kill from below is good, and all of the first 5 kills tally in favor of the Tigers. Slim trying to force something towards B, but he's shut down, and oh boy, this is just not good at all. 8 straight eliminations for LSU. To say it politely, it's not good at all.
No, it's not. Not good at all. In the back, can't get out of the spawn. Only 2 lives here have been eliminated. It is just complete dominance, and oh my, Ronan. There's 6. There's the cruise missile. Red Chase gets the trade, but I mean, they are struggling, hanging on by a thread. Maybe finally a little bit of hope here as they clear out a couple players in the base, but maybe he's right back. He could look to do it again and come behind the play.
Yeah, the problem here now for UTC is, well, obviously this offense has not been very successful for you, but if you don't find a way to get the extra 60 seconds and start fighting back, you're going to be looking at an LSU round 5 defense with a cruise missile, maybe more than that if Dwarflin can keep this up. And as the second tick is stopped and depleted, Dwarflin now cuts back into mid on 3 in a row. And UTC are just stuck inside a spawn looking for trades, and can somebody double chow this guy? Are you kidding me?
He's not missing right now. You know, he's just so terrifying. And it feels like that is probably it. One last chance maybe to touch B. Zubs could dive into A, 0.2. Still a chance, but you cannot afford to get off the zone, not even once. And the reinforcements are now just getting here for a bit of a stack. We'll see if they can try to play retake. Shut down in the back now from the side of the courtyard. Zubs again has been able to do it, and they steal it with 0.2?
No way. And they've started to fight back the life lead. 17 plays 9. 1 tick of progress locked. UTC looking to sneak their way around the back, but it's all being shut down. So a hell of an effort here from the Mocs, but LSU just so much life to play with. Not a lot of clock remaining, obviously, when you capture a zone at 0.2 seconds, so that's also problematic. But you never know. You clean out these last couple of members, maybe a chance to stack. Slim would have to do something unbelievable, though, and he does have a little bit of help here. It's working with Zubs, but Nades will take down his compatriot, and with that, Slim is now completely isolated, and the help is on the way. Help is on the way to you! I just had like a big Mrs. Doubtfire moment right there in my mind when I said that. I apologize. I'm not sorry. I'm not kidding. I'm not sorry. Please, have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
It's a Robin Williams classic, dude.
I feel like you knew that answer before you asked.
Yeah, based on your reaction, I had an idea. Help is on the way, dear! It's too funny. I'll school you one day.
Yeah, one day we're just gonna bang out
it is like
30,000 movies I gotta watch with all your quotes over the years.
One day. Yeah, in one day. That is like, I know I say it all the time, like that's a must watch, but that is one of Robin Williams' best performances, like flat out.
Okay. I'll take you up on that one, because I do like that man.
And when that moment hits, you're gonna think of me saying that. You're like, wow, it was a really good impression.
I like it. But UTC, they got a similar problem here, Alan. They do not have enough ticks, and now need to have a much better showing again, as I said in the last round, off the break here in their attacking round. They can't rely on these 0.2 kind of, just heroic moments over and over and over again. We got to see something off the start to get that extra minute earlier.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is it's off the breakoffs, right? Like, we just have not seen a lot of... I mean, when you give up 8 straight kills, it's easy for us to point to, but it was a problem in their first offense as well. This time a little bit better, though. Even trades back and forth. Allows a chance for UTC to get out of spawn and maybe even into the A zone. Yeah, sure is. Pixel's just watching the double doors. This would be an instant reaction from him. Doors stunned over. Semtex to follow. But the kills to still allow Pixels to stay on the zone. Second tick of progress on the way, but Dwarflin, little mini pinch from him. That clears off one offensive contestant. The knife gets it done for the follow-up LSU on the retake.
And the way they just use their teamwork, debate and switch, you get low, the next guy comes, like, it's so beautiful. Watch these guys retake zones and break hard points open. But they stop the push, still have to find that extra minute on one of these zones, and now it looks like it could come by way of either zone, as both are actually under attack. Dwarflin needs to come around and try to get something done, but can't shoot, can't fire through the fence, and now Ronan has to call in the streak. He does at least finish off one, but Pixel's still alive and could still create some pressure.
Thing about it is that you would call it, this is progress on both zones at the same time, so even committing that cruise missile to one zone to the other was a little bit of a press decision, but the second tick of progress does not fully get locked in on either site. And with that, now depletion ensues. 21 plays 19. 32 seconds on the clock, and UTC need to make up their minds. Where are we going? Are we going B? Are we going A? Kind of hard to feel it out based on the minimap right now. Finally, it looks like with that kill from Red Chase, they're going to commit over towards the A zone. Dwarflin thinking about it, but no, shut down, and UTC lock in the second tick of progress.
Lock it in. Should be able to lock in the third. I say should, because there was almost a crazy play, but they do find the trade, and numbers at least still in favor of LSU. But that's a huge kill there from Pixels. This is going to loosen up just a little bit of room now up top to maybe get behind, like we've been seeing. It hasn't worked out too successfully. They've never really been able to get to, like, the back of Garage. But if they can, maybe there's a chance to be able to get something done on the B zone. They just need 2 ticks.
That little play from Red Chase over towards the patio staircase will force Kadas to LSU to spawn over towards Pixel's direction.
Here we go.
Does he get into the zone, though? Not quite there all the way. UTC still having a hard time getting through Petrov as well over towards Soccer. Slim not able to answer for him, and now you've got a 3-life deficit for UTC. You're down to 45 seconds, and no kills are going their way towards the B zone. They have to fight their way out of spawn.
Oh, that back left spawn that came through defensively really hurt them. There was a chance maybe to kind of work through the trades, but they weren't expecting as many numbers as there were there for LSU. And now the positioning for Petrov is just stopping any kind of an offensive attack through this junkyard right now. There's 2 players completely staring at him, and he is still getting some damage out, playing his life. Slim has to take an alternate route, and he just barely finishes them off. But with 20 seconds left, you got to get on the zone. You have to stop the clock. We're down to 15.
Pixels will be on. 14.1 is where the clock stops. Petrov is the only defending LSU member nearby. He's going to go long route, just on the outside, try to play for some crosses. Second tick of progress, locked in. Now Petrov has to go. Nade support is in. Here comes the double chow. No answer from Petrov. Pavi also a little bit empty. Third tick of progress is on the way. 8 also playing up against 3. All the conditions coming through at once, but it's LSU who clear the zone. And for the first time, their defense was tested. Boy, did they ever provide some sort of a response. Pickles, the last one left, not going to be able to get in. And COD LSU will take the swing map, go up 2-1 in the series.
I feel like that was going to sting quite a bit here for UTC, but the defense just too strong on the other side. A lot of key moments coming in the end, and it's 45 kills that Ronan ends with, dude. 45 kills in control. Like, that is a round and a half worth of kills, all brought to you by this man himself. That is just absolutely absurd. Right behind him, Dwarflin, I mean, he was finding the impactful kills. 27 of those 35 non-traded. Those are some stats, let me tell you.
Yeah, the 45 kills is impressive when you remember the first round. It was 13 kills for Dwarflin and like 8 combined for the rest of the team. So talk about Ronan popping off there in those last 4 rounds. Boy, did he ever average. You would say he averaged more than 10 kills a round in those last 4. That's pretty damn impressive. So, man, another tight one, though. Goodness gracious. UTC is fighting against the favored LSU team by record and by top 25 ranking. But, man, it's just these little things here and there. I think we can kind of categorize a lot of this map by UTC on the offensive struggles, saying that their breakoffs were just not finding the success they needed. And then here at the end, it was just a couple of the key gunfights. You know, the heroics at 0.2 seconds in round 4. You had to do almost the exact same thing again on the A zone, just not giving yourself a lot of time to ever really set up and aggress towards B as a squad.
Yeah, it was a lot of moments, a lot of good moments. Pixels, you know, kind of gets to the back even a couple of times. Unfortunate defensive spawns that they come through behind Pride Rock to catch them off guard. They had some good looks, and I think that's the thing about LSU is you only get, you know, like a handful of good looks around on the attack, right? 2 to 3 good chances, maybe where you have a shot to be able to put them in the spawn trap blender, get some of that top patio control, stack the zone, whatever it might be.
Right.
And you have to capitalize, and when you don't, well, the defense can get here, set up, and hold on, and that's exactly what kind of ended up happening here in the end. Just edge out, but I mean, these have all been like close maps. Shout out our, you know, our ops team for selecting this matchup because it has been a fun one so far, but it's still UTC struggling just to get over the line here in the respawns, man.
It's been close though, man. It's been real close. Wow. 35 and 25, 45 and 30, 35 non-traded, 27 non-traded, nearly 5. I mean, let's just give him 5,000 damage to run in. I mean, and that's again the first round. He had like 4 damage for sure. He had like 5 kills in the first round, so that is unbelievable. Nearly averaged 1,000 damage per round. That's an actual number right there, by the way. It's not a fake number like Pavy's, but that's crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy because like we always talk about like the difference between hardpoint and control. And control, it's like it's a lot of 1v1s that you're taking, right? So
yeah, true.
Ronan is just winning a lot of 1v1s. Like 35 of, you know, the 45 are non-traded, so that really does kind of put it in perspective for you. Oh man, tough scenes on the other side. I mean, it really was just the clutch factor that we saw kind of out of, you know, Zubs or maybe out of Red Chase there in a couple of those offensive rounds. But, you know, as far as slaying goes, they really could not keep up in that category. It was just constantly relying on those last second place.
And it really wasn't that anyone underperformed from UTC. It was just the team was being held back, you know, by these individual plays by LSU. And maybe there's something to be said about just finding better trades and helping each other maybe a little bit more. Like you kind of mentioned at the top of that map, need to see the teamwork get polished up just a touch. So now you're kind of in a must-win situation, obviously, if you're UTC. Yep. Not only because it's a hotel hardpoint, you're down 1-2, but again, the hardpoint's been your problem spot statistically across the matches you play up until this point. Again, both of these teams have a lot of matches to remake up because I think this is match number 8 for them out of the 11, so they still have to play, I think, 3 more games before their season's technically over with their reschedules. So some learning to be done, but this is a key one like we continue to mention because LSU in the standings have a small edge over UTC. And that gap, when it comes to seeding, could actually be pretty, I would say, expensive when it comes down to that playoff bracket, especially with how the last chance qualifier is going to work out.
For sure, I'm with you. I mean, just a 4-4 record, everything too, just for kind of building some of that momentum for those matches that you're all going to have to play out, you know, pretty concisely here over the next week. So yeah, a lot to take in here for these guys. I mean, they're just about there, and I think that's probably the toughest part about, you know, playing right now for them is that we've almost done it now twice, and, you know, in game modes that they're stronger than us then, but we just haven't been able to just get over the line, and now you only have one more chance to do it. I think, a total now of 3-8 when it comes down to the hard points after that map 1 loss, so got to do something crazy on here on Hotel. I don't know if it's just one player taking over, whatever it might be, but something's got to come to life here for them.
Yeah, and, you know, I not that I'm trying to like counter you the point. Like you don't have to do anything too crazy though, because like you were really close in the Hydro hardpoint. Like we continue to talk about, you know, the map kind of played 50-50. You have your half, we'll have our half. But the break attempts that came through were just slightly more convincing from LSU. So this is a map that again, it does not really play left to right like Hydro does. It's more of that star pattern where everything kind of comes across the map, and that's where I always say like you got to look at what happens in the rotational 30 seconds between hard points, because if you're out of tempo, exiting from one hard point, trying to play over to the next one, you may have already lost out on 30 seconds of that hill, especially the way the hotel will play. So that's where I want to see the slight tuning. Is not anything too aggressive or nuts, but play with a little bit more tempo. As soon as a hard point's about to exit, you know that you've got convincing enough kills. Start stretching across the map, try to catch the Tigers on rotation and force the spawns to be a little bit weird for them, because I feel like more often than not, going from like P2 and P4 and Hydro over towards 3 and 5, it just felt like UTC was continually spawning on the other side of the map and never had a good look at breaking those hills, whereas LSU were kind of pushing forward a touch more and, doing a little bit of the dirty work around those mid rotational spawns.
Yeah, and I mean, a map like, Hotel 2 could be great for someone like Pixels, who was having a really good start, kind of, within that first half of the hard point. We were highlighting just his routes he was taking to kind of cut off the reinforcements, picking up a couple multi-kills, just slowing it down just a touch, just forcing them to wait for the teammates to come back off of spawn. So a map like Hotel with a lot of routes and just a lot of different, doorways that you can kind of finesse your way through, there is a lot of chances maybe for Pixels to put up a similar performance after maybe a couple of rough back-to-back games here for him. So seeing if he can maybe come alive and kind of be that sub pressure that you need, because you always need one good roaming SMG. I feel like on Hotel, if you can just find someone that can get into a groove and start to find some of those rotational kills, play their life, sit in a corner, play ratty, as we like to say it in the scene, that can kind of be one of your win conditions, just being a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way the game plays. When you can go prone inside of a bush on a corner, do it.
I know you love it.
Yeah, I love it, dude. It's my
favorite. A lot of
favorite
bushes here on Hotel, in the hotel, right?
Hey, you can't hide some of the plants. Yeah, the plants may as well be bushes.
Have you seen the cupboard spot, like up top in bedroom? I don't know if it's G8 or if they patched it, but that spot is hilarious.
Yes. There's a lot of that. It's just the way the game plays. Embrace it. What did we say back in 2019? Adapt.
Get good.
Yeah, just get better, dude. Aim higher. Not a pomage. That's all I got.
That's all you got? It's okay. I'm sure UTC's got a little bit more for us here, but can they actually close it, man? I know you do not want to see a map 5 for LSU. I can't imagine that's going to, maybe put on additional pressure here, because you're going into a mode that that you're really consistent at, but you got to see if you can try to pull something out here with a good break off. Just get some momentum rolling. Someone have a good moment, get hyped, something to at least get the snowball potentially going in your favor, because Hotel can be very snowbally too. So yeah,
very much so. Let's take a look at this Midwest bracket, or the Southeast bracket. I keep looking at the Midwest matchup, sorry. The Southeast matchup, just as far as how this region has gone, this has been a region full of surprises. Mars Hill, perfect, 9-0. James Madison, 8-2. I don't think any of us had that. But, the rest of the group is up for grabs. I mean, you've got Newberry, Full Sail, both with 5 wins, LSU, Mocs, High Point, Florida International, all at 3 wins. Those are all schools that could find themselves, in the top 8. Concord, I don't know if they're still playing. I think they forfeited out their whole season.
Yeah.
They went 0-11. I assume they forfeited out. And then Alabama, who has been essentially absent, just 2-7 through their first 9 games. It kind of all of a sudden puts a lot of pressure. If the Mocs lose this matchup with still some to play, they very well may find themselves in the bottom 4. So LSU's a little bit safer. I mean, this is match 8. There's still a chance I think they could fall into the bottom 4, but at 4-3 with the rest of the group sitting at 3-6, 3-5, they should be okay. But this is a pretty crucial matchup for the Mocs, who still have a lot of schedule to play through.
And I feel like if you were to go drop into 3-5, it's like then that's when the pressure really sets in. It's like, okay, now these are all must wins, right? So it's just not a spot that you want to be in as a competitor, knowing that your back's already up against the wall before you even go into a best of 5 to try to make top 8. So it makes it a lot easier if you just win Hotel Hardpoint, win your S&Ds like we normally see, and then it's high LSU at 4-4, right? That's perfect picture.
Yeah.
But probably not going to work out that way without a lot of a fight here from LSU, man. These guys are hard to put down, at least from what we've seen here so far. But you said it. I mean, this match really does determine so much for who might actually make it into the top 8 between these two.
100%. And the seeding is, I think, crucially important, by the way. Getting buys is nice, but when you come out of your region as the number 8 in that instance, and you have to play up against a super hot team that's already been playing in the last chance qualifiers, they're going to learn a lot about themselves. So
Sure.
You know, it definitely is one of those things that the bye does not, I think, favor a team as much as you would normally expect, just because, you know, again, I don't know how much these teams are actually practicing or scrimming, but you have to assume it's not as much as like your challengers and CDL teams that could make a lot of headway off of a bye. And then looking at other matchups they still have to play, like LSU's the rest of their schedule is not necessarily easy. They have to play High Point still, they have to play FIU still, and they have to play UCF. So all those are schools that are technically below them in the current rankings, but I wouldn't say that any of those are guaranteed wins based on the records that we're looking at. So, you know, a lot of work to still be done, whereas for the side of Mocs COD, they still have to play Newberry College, who's at 5-4. That's not great news. They still have to play Alabama. That's probably a win, just based on how they're playing today. But, you know, they very well may find themselves sitting at like 3-8 or 4-7, which is, again, maybe just barely good enough to get into the top 8.
We'll have to see. Chance, though, still get it done in a respawn as we try to load back in for the second time on Hotel Hardpoint. It's been all respawns here for LSU. If you're just tuning in, UT able to grab at least that first S&D. They'd love to get to a second S&D with their win-loss record, but can they get it done on the hardpoint, Alan? That's what we're asking.
It's true. The inquiry's out.
It's out there.
Question's been posed. The ask has been made.
Anymore?
The thesis has been... No, there we go. Let's get into it. UTC, nice little opening for them. 9 seconds, a very early time, and trades that are continuing to keep the hard point at worst neutral. So a decent start, but of course, the big stretch and the big ask is, can you get over to the other side of the map, as LSU are earning some of their own time and setting up for a bit of a defense.
I'll be looking through connector, gets a good read on the first, and oh, nice little snap up top, gets a second Vaznet. Hold on a second, almost a 5 spree to open it up, and a very good sign here for LSU, alive and well, and will contest a lot of this P1 time as they're already in position, but have to defend 3 different members here on the attack.
Yeah, this is tough scenes because as one member falls, it's just Petrov trying to anchor, and he's been red in the back. Actually a bit surprised and asking for any assistance on this kill, because the longer that Petrov stays in the back, the more limited your focus is towards the front. And this is the longest 1v1 in the history of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. As both teams continue to spawn out, finally, Petrov will give off the ankle, play through Spa. Chase picks him up, and with that UTC, now a chance to try to stabilize. But again, look how long that took. Zubs is still not a part of the play, and LSU have that as an opportunity to break.
That's exactly it. You hit on it perfectly, man. It's just all this attention to the back. They're able to at least break through the front, trade it effectively, and, well, kills are still coming on through. Oh, LSU almost there for a little bit more for what could be 20 seconds, and that will be the case. Potentially, Spawn does come through in the back, though, so Slim actually has a chance maybe to fight for the back 10. Ronan going to get a good read on the first, and no way does he pick up that second, almost. Now the rotation into Freezer and in Kitchen. Petrov is here.
Petrov will not be able to win the 1v1 versus Red Chase. He has weakened him up, though, but oh, okay, Red Chase with the double. That should at least block spawns, and yeah, Dwarflin will spawn out. But does Zub spawn in? No, so once again, LSU now, shoes on the opposite foot. They're looking for Red Chase as the break from the front starts to mass. Kills not all that convincing, it's just Red Chase doing it all himself. Now Zub's from the front. This would be the time to go while everyone's looking for your teammate in the back, but this is the timing by just that much, and LSU with the kills will start to stabilize with numbers.
Oh, Pixel's able to throw himself in, but that's all it is. It's just small little contests. Nothing can really break from the front. Red Chase does everything perfectly, and he's able to get in again. Can he find a second? Just about. Making them work absolutely overtime here to try to finish out some of these kills, man. It's been incredible, but it's still LSU coming in with the majority of the time. It's a great kitchen hill for them, as they're now going to have just a nice cushion coming into the next one.
Yeah. Kind of feels like Hydra all over again a little bit in a way. Once more, LSU. A chance on rotation to get a free look at the new hardpoint. Nades are out. No trophy system down here on the side of UTC. The kills are still coming their way. All 3 of them, in fact. Slim getting a lot of the work. Pixels destroying trophy systems and now trying to help out onto the hardpoint itself. Gets the first. Solid read onto the second. Tags are in, and with that, Pixels on 3. More help, though, for LSU quickly on the way. They still spawn relatively close here. Well, until Dwarflin finally gets pushed out of spawn, but he's going to use that as a natural chance to pinch, and UTC, again, just a little bit statuesque, not really getting proactive, even though they're in the hard point.
Brooklyn, he's got so many players kind of just watching for him. He stops Red Chase and Slim from pushing on through and trying to get support in and around the point, and that should allow LSU with the quick spawn in the back to basically lock in the back 25 seconds. So a nice little moment there from Dwarflin with the split spawn, just using his positioning well, just stopping everybody from UTC from having a chance of being able to push through. And now forced to rotate here will be UTC. We'll see if they can lock it in.
Once again, LSU go scrap to initial. Patterns, the trends, oh, they are showing up. UTC on the surround. Dwarflin just trying to finesse. Does well for the first, but it's Pixels who finally cleans things up. Javi from the backside on 3 in a row. Not going to get the better of Pixels either. So with that, UTC secure the hard point. 44 seconds left to fight for. LSU spawning on kitchen side, and once more, UTC is just not in a proactive position to deal with this. First 2 kills go the way of the Tigers. More on the way, and no way do UTC have all 4 members in the hard point, and they don't get a single kill. That is not good enough.
No, that's tough. And now Zub's just kind of forced to make a big play by himself. He'll be shut down. Rodin for 2 more. I mean, you're just seeing an absolute brawl here for the scrap. Everybody wants to get their hands on it, and the UTC might be able to get it, and they will. So that's still at least a solid hill for them, as much as we're not seeing, you know, the holds come on through. We're able to bring it back just a touch, just down by about 10 to 15 seconds. We'll see what they can do now on this rotation over to the rooftops.
Have to have it here for Chattanooga. I know it's a tight game, but with LSU in a nice position, and just, again, just look at the minimap. Look how proactive LSU are. Even on that elimination onto Petrov, Pavi moves forward into the fray. He doesn't go backwards into the hard point where he has to put together a reaction. He's trying to kill extra time, and man, it's amounting to these small gaps and these small differences across not just the first hard point, but especially here on the hotel. Little mantle play from Pixels. Good prediction from Dwarflin to Red Chase. Trade is in, though, and once more, this is just good back and forth from favoring LSU, largely speaking. Nice stun. And how about it? LSU stabilized, 20 seconds to scrap, so the fight for, and UTC may have to commit to this.
Wow, yeah, I mean, this is a full 60, and they haven't really even got a contest. This is finally their first team push moment, and it's for scrap time, and it's still not going to go over completely for free, man. Just struggling to finish off a lot of these kills. Able to get 8 seconds, but, I mean, LSU happy to give you that time, try to flip the map, and get themselves set up for P1.
Of which, the setup is a little bit fragile. Team Nade makes that a little bit easier. A couple of wall bangs also keep the hard point neutral. 165-108, favoring LSU. Pixels, backside, archway, good for 1. Long range shots, lots of damage towards the couch, contested. Nade will try to follow up on that, but a little too deep, and Pixels eventually gets overwhelmed. Red Chase trying to assist, but these are all Vaznev's gunfights that feel like they should have tacks in their hands. Once again, Chattanooga just not quite getting into the faces of the LSU Tigers as they find a way to still find more time here on P1.
Oh, Red Chase, man, he's doing everything he can. Keeping it scrappy, and UTC, maybe 15 seconds, but I feel like that's kind of what we've been saying over the last couple of hills, and maybe not even scrap time's going to go their way now on P1, as everyone's forced to rotate. It's freezer spawns coming through very deep here for UTC. They're going to be late on this rotation now to P2. And the setup is once again in while all the rotational kills are just flowing here for LSU. You got 1 player in the back. That's Zubs. We'll see if he can try to make something happen because you have to break here for UTC.
And he has to get active. You can't just sit back here and hope that your teammates are going to spawn with you. You have to start making a play for the hard point, especially as your teammates continue to get cut on this play through mid-front desk. Zubs, gunfight win comes his way. But LSU still in the hard point, and still very comfortably in the hard point, mind you. I mean, Zubs has both of his nades. I was going to say this earlier. I feel like UTC are just not throwing their utility. But now we're really starting to see it. Zubs going to get done, though, with the rifle. Trophy system down. LSU going to be spawning out, and that's enough for them to concede and head over to new.
It's a good moment. Pixels has already went to the new hill, so if he can try to hold his life and just try to buy time for his teammates to get here, there could be a chance, and Pixels is doing it! He's able to find 2. It's been a slow start for him, but how about finding it here now, late into the game? This could be everything for UTC. 1 more kill in, and Pixels not ready for it. Red Chase gets the trade, and UTC find a beautiful transition to new.
You got Pixels who can cut off this mid-cross as well. Timing should be good for it. Red Chase watching the side door, and that's a lot of information transmitted into this UTC defense. And you hold from inside the side doors. Look at all the nades that are coming through. So much damage and concussive effects coming out, and man, I'm saying that Slim and Red Chase are always throwing their nades, but I gotta say, Zubs and Pixels are holding on to a lot of their utility. Not that it's gonna make that, significant difference maker, but these breaks are made easier because LSU are getting their utility off, and Chattanooga have no responses.
Without a doubt. Tough scenes right now here for UTC, and Slim looking for a heroic moment. That's all there's really left in this game. Heroic moments need to come through consistently from every single player. And Dwarflin has made it behind enemy lines. Will they sniff him out, or will he make a big play? The timing might still be there for him. He gets two. Knows one more's behind him, and I think he maybe goes to a second weapon. Either way, he creates enough space. LSU, they're on the time.
Yep. Looking good here for COD LSU to put away the series. 239 is where it stops, though, as UTC still get the favorite spawns through Spa, get around the back of this, but Dwarflin on his second life. Cuts right back in, and now Pavy's going to be able to assist on this little pinch up. Not that it was needed. Dwarflin's doing it all himself, and now the bump. Pavy, long range, not going to get the better of the last, but it does not make a difference. Tigers will take it in all three respawns. Halfway as expected, I would say, but maybe not in how tight the first three maps were. That much was for sure, but LSU, number 24, hold their spot and improve their standings in the group.
They sure do. And they make sure they keep their records nice and high here around the respawns as they tally 2 more hard points into control. But you said it, Alan, extremely close. This one, maybe the furthest one, from everything else that we've seen. A lot of good looks, though. And I think that's the frustrating thing is, even like that rotational moment, like that moment where we saw the P2 break and then the hold for the back 25.
Yes.
Pixels made that rotation to new with the 2-piece. That's when I was thinking, okay, UTC are actually in a position to maybe bring this one back, chain hills together. That's what Hotel kind of comes down to. Can you find a chance to kind of chain 2 hills back to back on the map? But if so, you can grab yourself control of the game or at least get yourself back into it. But Absolutely. That break immediately after was just too fast, too quick, no trophy systems down, and almost felt too easy. And everything just kind of fell apart there from that moment on.
And I'm going to be overreacting to this, but it's been said a lot. I remember this was like a big point of conversation, like back in Modern Warfare 19, where everyone, like, the challengers at CDL level, like 5v5, was like, throw your freaking stuff. Like, I don't care where it goes, just throw it. Like, I remember there was a big moment where people were talking about, like, I don't want a facility on a death screen. Like, if you didn't throw your nades off of a life, you're giving away an advantage. And it just felt like more often than not, watching LSU's break attempts, you were dealing with UTC members that were stunned or naded to half HP. And not that it was like every time it was the same way, but it definitely were some significant moments where it's just like LSU are all 3 or 4 members in and around the hard point, and they aren't being stunned or naded at all. And it's like in this moment right here for like Ronan, like there was nothing coming his direction, and I don't know. I just feel like if you're UTC and you're Slim and your Red Chase watching this back, maybe the next thing to start teaching your new freshmen is throw all of your stuff all the time, because it felt like they were dying with both nades more often than they were ever throwing them.
Right. Tough scenes to be sure, but good looks, at least on the other side, for the 3-1 victory. Ronan, again, I mean, he has looked phenomenal today through the slaying, man. I'll say that much. He drops 45 in that control. He follows it up with a 31-kill performance as well in the hard point. 2 minutes in the hill as well. Like, he's doing just about everything he possibly can. Avi doing, a very similar thing as well. 33 kills. He was a lot more active, I would say, on this map, and he was just constantly being annoying here for UTC and cutting down the reinforcements. It felt like spawn after spawn.
You got 3 members over 3k damage. Pretty impressive. And all of them had over a minute of hard point time. Even more impressive when you put it like that. So COD LSU take the series. UTC, both teams have a lot of series to play as we continue to talk about, but for UTC, their path is not guaranteed necessarily to a top 8, whereas with that win from COD LSU, they will, I'm sure, find themselves into the top 8 in some form, likely higher than lower than that top 8 range. Really, the only major contestants above them would be schools